Oh, I'm feeling great. I've been working out. Actually, I just got done running before we, head into the press conference. So everything is going according to plan, and I'm looking forward to becoming a 3-time undisputed champion come September 13th.
If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know. It'll all be predicated upon how well Terence can take his punch.
Roy Jones Jr. has weighed in on the highly anticipated super middleweight showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, offering an intriguing prediction.
You said you don't think, or you don't look into the weight difference. Why?
When you know how to box, when you're as skillful as Terence Crawford is, weight don't really matter much.
The legendary boxer believes that the deciding factor in the fight won't be skill, size, or tactics. It'll all come down to one thing: whether Crawford can handle Canelo's power. His comments have sparked even more debate about what's set to be one of the most exciting bouts in recent boxing history.
He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be in the books of the history of boxing for sure. That's for sure.
For sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me. I'm telling you right now.
You can see it, but it's gonna be difficult. You take it to your home.
I'm taking them. And ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about it come fight night.
I know Turkey is in your corner, but look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
You see I'm different than all the other ones.
No, I see you. No, you don't look different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
Nothing different.
I'm different.
We'll see.
You're gonna see.
We'll
know it.
We'll see.
We're gonna see.
With the fight scheduled for September 13th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, both fighters have already traded barbs at press conferences, building the kind of tension that only a mega fight like this can produce. At the heart of the contest is a battle between power and skill. Canelo, the undisputed super middleweight champion, is known for his devastating power and technical precision. Meanwhile, Crawford, a two-weight world champion, is celebrated for his exceptional skills, adaptability, and fight IQ. However, as Roy Jones points out, Crawford's biggest challenge won't be outboxing Canelo. It'll be whether he can withstand the heavy blows from the Mexican powerhouse.
What I'm seeing is I see a hungry Crawford, a Crawford that has been looking for the opportunity for a long time, finally getting the opportunity and really ready to grab the opportunity. And with Canelo, I see a guy who not necessarily hungry, but loves to entertain, loves to give us the big fights. Always tries to give the big fights. He finds a way to give us big fights. Not gonna always win them, but he always tries to give them to us. So he'll be a guy that, if he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know. It'll all be predicated upon how well Terence can take his punch.
Jones, ever the astute observer of boxing, stated that Crawford's ability to absorb Canelo's punches would ultimately determine the outcome. He believes that despite Crawford's vast skill set, the weight difference is less of an issue than most people assume. For Jones, the primary concern is whether Crawford's chin can withstand the type of shots Canelo brings to the table. Crawford has never faced an opponent with Canelo's power, and this jump in weight classes could be the ultimate test of his durability.
Don't get me wrong, okay? He's a good fighter, a great fighter. I always say before I see him calling me out and won the fight and everything, I see before. I say before, he's a great fighter. But if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter. Just mention me one elite fighter.
So Postal wasn't elite?
Who?
Victor Postal.
Who's that guy?
Oh, so he wasn't commercialized. He wasn't a great. Ricky Burns wasn't elite.
What? 40 years old champion in that moment beat Mr. Postal in my gym. I saw that.
So Ricky Burns wasn't elite.
Ricky Burns doesn't elite.
Okay,
he's not elite.
It's cool.
Is there a champion?
I'm gonna fight another elite.
There is
fighter
a champions, good fighters, but elite fighters is different. Wait.
So I'm gonna fight an elite fighter in September.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we're
gonna find out.
Then we're gonna find out.
And don't get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great fighter, but you're gonna find out. I hope your uncle Turki Alashi pay you enough money because it's gonna be the last. That's
it may be. It may be.
Maybe.
I hope he pay you enough.
But you know, after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my career, never same after me.
As Jones sees it, Crawford's hunger and determination could level the playing field. The Nebraska native has long been eyeing an opportunity to fight Canelo, and now that the moment is finally here, he is fully prepared to seize it. Crawford's mentality, Jones argues, could be the difference maker. He believes Crawford, who has long been considered one of the most complete fighters in boxing, will be more than ready to take on Canelo in what will be the biggest test of his career.
So that's the only thing when you got skill. Now, if you don't have a skill, you can't take it up because you're going to lose your punch, you're going to lose everything. And when you got skill, all your stuff that you have goes up with you. You talk to the GOAT, I went out with a heavyweight.
No, it's a lot of the people, which is why I brought up, would use the weight as an advantage for Canelo. But I agree, and you're right. Canelo fights obviously taller fighters all the time and wins. It's about skill as opposed to, a lot of the time anyway, as opposed to weight.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm not really worried about the weight. I'm worried about the skill level that they use during the fight.
Canelo's age and the toll of his long career have become central to many of the pre-fight discussions. Former world champion Sergio Mora has pointed out that Canelo's recent performances, specifically his struggles against Rongier opponents, suggest that he might not be at his peak anymore. While still a formidable fighter, Canelo has been showing signs of slowing down, and his difficulty in cutting off the ring against opponents with a longer reach is something Crawford could exploit. For Mora, despite these concerns, Canelo's experience and toughness are likely to carry him to a decision victory, though not without absorbing some significant punishment.
Canelo, Terence Crawford, September, the super fight. I know you'll be there. Talk to me about what happens in that fight.
Hey, listen, man. For a long time I kept saying, a great big man will beat a great small man. That's just how it is in boxing. But after Canelo's last performance, like many people, man, he struggled against a guy in cutting off the ring, a longer guy that wasn't trying to make it a fight. And Canelo has lost a step. Let's keep it real. I mean, he's a man with over 65 fights. He's been fighting professionally since he was 15 years old.
Yes.
There's wear and tear. There's injury. He can turn old overnight.
Yes.
And believe it or not, he's younger than Crawford. But Crawford doesn't have those miles. Crawford's 37 years old. He can turn old overnight. But I still like Crawford, man. He's just a mean dude. He's been bulking up nicely, doing it the right way. He looks bigger. He looks bigger than Canelo right now as far as like height, the shoulders. I think it's going to be a decision type fight. I think Crawford's in this fight, and I don't think Canelo leaves unscathed. I think he'll leave a little bruised and beat up, but he'll still win the decision.
Interestingly, many experts are divided on the fight. Boxing prospect Jaron Davis, who has been in close proximity to both fighters, suggested that Crawford's sharpness in the mental and tactical aspects of the sport could neutralize Canelo's physical advantages. He observed how Crawford has adapted to the super welterweight class, hinting that the size difference might not be as significant as many believe.
Have you been in there with Crawford?
Yeah.
So you've been in there with Crawford, you've been there with Canelo. What can you take from sparring both of them to gauge what's gonna happen in September?
Preparation is gonna definitely be everything. Crawford adjusting to the 168 pound division. I know he's been sitting at a heavier weight for a while, but he's been showing his training and stuff. So that's definitely gonna help him. Canelo experience. You got Crawford, he got great experience as well. It's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a good chess match. I expect a great fight. If I had to favor somebody, I would just pick Canelo because of the weight disparity. Canelo is naturally sits really well at 168, and it's just always tough for a guy to come to 168 and come from that many weight classes up and do something like that. If he does it, if anybody can do it, it'll be Terence Crawford.
This notion was echoed by Richardson Hitchens, who argued that Crawford doesn't need to imitate other fighters who have beaten Canelo, such as Floyd Mayweather or Dimitri Bivol. Instead, Crawford should stick to his own game, his speed, high ring IQ, and ability to adjust mid-fight, qualities that could give Canelo a lot of trouble.
I think Terence Crawford is one of the most craftiest dudes that Canelo gonna be in the ring with. Hand speed, IQ, long arms, speed, power. Switch hitter. I just think that it's gonna be a lot for. It's gonna be something different for Canelo, but then Canelo's Canelo. Canelo been first title defense was in 2011 versus Ricky Hatton, and he's still on top to the present time. So this is over 10 years. We're going on 15 years of this guy fighting on the championship level. So there's nothing new for him. So I do believe that I do believe that it's gonna be a huge fight for both guys, but obviously I'm backing Bud. You know, I have a personal relationship with Terence Crawford, and he's a black fighter, and I do want to see my own winning. I think, you know, Bud is a great guy, you know, especially always being hands-on with the young fighters coming up behind him, guys like me, Shakur, Devin Haney's, being in the gym with guys like us, and, you know, just giving us free game and shit like that. So I think that would be motivation for the young ones behind him, to show them like, yeah, like I could do it, like you could do it too. So I really want to see Bud win that fight, and I think that he can.
Shakur Stevenson, another rising star in boxing, shared similar sentiments. He is dismissive of the idea that Canelo's strength will be a decisive factor, believing that Crawford's speed, timing, and fight IQ will overwhelm the older, potentially slower Canelo. Stevenson even suggested that Crawford could end up stopping Canelo, an outcome that would surprise many in the boxing world. This prediction is bold, but reflective of the faith many have in Crawford's ability to perform under pressure.
I think Bud gonna cook Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, you know, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
You don't think the weight difference is gonna be too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, you know. In certain fights,
boxing makes it something, not us.
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would like apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's like physically kind of big, but like height-wise, he's kind of small. So I don't think so, no.
Zab Judah, a former world champion, is even more confident in Crawford's chances. He predicts a stoppage win for the Omaha native, noting that Crawford has been sharp in training and has made the necessary adjustments to handle the weight gain effectively. Judah believes that Crawford's cerebral approach to the fight, along with his discipline and fight IQ, will allow him to outmaneuver Canelo, especially if the fight becomes more tactical than physical.
Okay, what about Canelo and Crawford?
Crawford. No hesitation. No hesitation.
I want to see that fight.
Big Bud. Big Bud. We're going to have to roll Canelo up. We're going to have to pack him up, baby.
But how hard is the jump from 47 to 68?
I mean, listen, it's a very big challenge. But what I said, with his skills and the way he's adapted to the size, brother, when I seen them stand toe-to-toe and side by side, I said, game over. Terence Crawford. And listen, don't be surprised if you stop him. I'm telling you.
Who?
Don't be surprised
if Canelo stops Crawford.
Terence Bud Crawford stops Canelo.
I would be surprised.
I love you. Skills pay the bills. See that, Cody? Skills pay the bills.
On the other side of the spectrum, some, like David Benavidez, have voiced concerns about Crawford's move up to super middleweight. Benavidez, who has been a dominant figure in the division, warned that Crawford might underestimate the challenges of fighting at 168 pounds. This isn't just about gaining weight, it's about facing bigger, stronger, and more experienced fighters. Canelo in particular has been fighting at this weight for a long time, and Benavidez feels that Crawford might struggle to adjust to the demands of the division. He also raised concerns about the lack of depth in Crawford's resume at this weight, as he's never faced a fighter of Canelo's caliber at 168 pounds.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses either. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Earl Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. So I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make 168.
Eddie Hearn, who initially favored Canelo because of his size, has also started to reevaluate the fight. After watching Canelo's somewhat lackluster performance against William Skull, Hearn now believes the fight is closer than expected. He describes it as a 50-50 contest, with Crawford's intelligence and belief in his own abilities playing a key role in his potential success. Hearn's shift in perspective reflects the growing sense that Canelo's dominance might be slipping, while Crawford's star is rising.
He has no doubt in his mind that he's going to win this fight. And anyone that has movement is going to cause Canelo problems at this stage in his career. And first, when the fight was made, I thought that Canelo Alvarez would be a huge favourite in this fight because of the size. But I really see it as a 50-50 fight. Like, I honestly, probably favouring Crawford.
Wow.
Because of what I saw.
Oh, you're gonna get another Canelo text.
Yeah, nah. But I want Canelo to win. Just want to put that out there as well. But I see it like, I'm talking like 55-45, but I would always pick Canelo, but I just being, leaving Times Square, I got on the plane with Crawford and we flew to I've spent a lot of time with him over the years, and he's a massive believer in himself, massive. And he's got a tremendous boxing IQ and he knows boxing inside out. And he's so convinced he wins this fight. And Canelo's got to switch up everything he's been doing in the last few fights. Like a William Skull performance will not beat Terence Crawford. I don't think an Edgar Berlanga performance will beat Terence Crawford. I don't think a Jaime Munguia performance or a Charlo performance will beat Terence Crawford.
Mike Tyson, another boxing legend, offered a unique perspective on the fight. He argued that heart and determination often outweigh physical advantages. Tyson pointed to historical examples of fighters who succeeded despite physical disadvantages, suggesting that Crawford's grit and mental toughness could be the equalizer in this fight. Tyson believes that if Crawford can remain focused and execute his game plan to perfection, he could challenge Canelo in ways that many don't expect.
Who do you think wins that fight? Is it maybe the weight too much for Terence Crawford?
There's been men that beat people like Armstrong and McLaren and these guys. They're beating people bigger than them, 2 divisions bigger than them. It's not impossible, Henry Armstrong's a featherweight and he beat the middleweight champ. At 130 pounds, he beat the welterweight champ. Then he fought a draw with the middleweight champ. So I think size means nothing. Determination means everything.
Jaron Charlo, whose brother Jermell was beaten by Canelo, also warned Crawford not to fall into the trap of focusing too much on size. Charlo, who knows firsthand the difficulties of facing Canelo, emphasized that Crawford's best attributes, his speed, agility, and intelligence, should not be sacrificed in the pursuit of added weight. The focus should be on maintaining those strengths rather than trying to match Canelo's physicality. This cautionary advice echoes the concerns many have about Crawford's weight jump, especially given the challenges other fighters have faced when stepping up against Canelo.
I like Crawford, all right? My brother Canelo, not me. I like Crawford in this fight, and he get to stay big. But my brother even told me that was his mistake that he made. He thought going up in weight, I gotta get massive, I gotta get big to beat Canelo. It made him slower, it made his reflexes slower. He'll tell you himself. He didn't feel like the Jaron Charlo that y'all seen him fight Tony Harrison. Crawford, I feel like that's the same thing as happening. You wanna get big to try to absorb Canelo punches and all this, but that's not, technically, that's not the Crawford that we're gonna see. And then Crawford going up there to fight Canelo at 68, when he's not a 68 pounder, where's the motivation? Y'all got to think about it like
big
that.
For Crawford,
The money is good, but I don't expect Terence Crawford to be the Terence Crawford that was knocking out Gamboa, doing all. I don't expect that type of Terence Crawford.
But does it look Canelo?
I'm not picking either one of them.
Jaron Boots, Ennis, another rising star in the boxing world, also voiced his skepticism about Crawford's decision to skip the middleweight division and jump straight to 168 pounds. Ennis respects Crawford's abilities, but expressed doubt that the move will pay off in the long run. He believes that Crawford might be underestimating the natural advantages Canelo has at this weight, which could give the Mexican champion the edge.
But I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo, because like I said before, he been putting big guys out and down, and Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe, and he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it. So, so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight, at like 60, or like at least at 60. to get his body, you know, to fill into somebody a little bit bigger, you know, and things like that. You know, I know when you go up a weight, you gotta, you know, develop that power and not develop the power, but like put that muscle on and be heavier and things like that. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build up right now, but I think he should, just to stay sharp and that way he don't have like a long layoff or anything like that.
Teddy Atlas, the respected trainer and analyst, took a more nuanced approach. While acknowledging that Canelo's past victories may have been aided by advantageous matchmaking, Atlas praised Crawford's discipline and precision. He suggested that if Crawford can execute a perfect game plan, and if Canelo underestimates him, the fight could turn into a shock upset. Atlas's take reinforces the idea that Crawford is not just a fighter with skills, but also the potential to outthink and outmaneuver his opponent.
People are going to say Canelo's too big. He had trouble with a 154-pound guy when he went up from welterweight to that. So now he's going up to 168. Teddy, come on. How are you going to make an argument? You're going to make an argument to the history of this sport, where little guys have been able to beat big guys, because you reverse it. You reverse who's got the advantage and the disadvantage. Yeah, the size, the power of Canelo, he's got the advantage. Then all of a sudden you go back and you say, wait a minute. The other guy's faster. The other guy's craftier. The other guy has more options. The other guy is slicker. Oh, well, maybe he's got the advantages. Like the first time Pacquiao fought De La Hoya. And I know De La Hoya was having trouble with weight and all that. I get it, and that's fair. But still, I remember I picked that one. Every once in a while I pick one right. I remember that I picked that one where Pacquiao's going to win. And I said, yeah, you're saying that De La Hoya's bigger, he's stronger. He's got the power edge, he's got this edge, but the other guy's quicker. And that's going to be an edge, and it was an edge. I'm one of the people that thinks Crawford is very, very special. I'm not saying Canelo's not, but I think he's special in a different way, where he's got instincts that not everyone has. Yeah. That it's the timing, it's the instinctual things, the X factors, the intangibles that he has. And I think they're going to show themselves. I really do. And I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait to see a smaller guy use those intangibles, use those X factors to beat a bigger guy.
Jose Benavidez Sr. predicted a lackluster fight. He believes Crawford will fight cautiously, avoiding risks to minimize the damage from Canelo's power. This strategy, Benavidez argues, will result in a more tactical and less exciting encounter, similar to the performances of William Skull and Jaron Charlo, who struggled to engage Canelo effectively in their respective bouts.
Crawford's a little guy, you know. He's coming up 2 divisions to fight Canelo Alvarez, and you think he's going to go toe-to-toe with Canelo? Come on, man. You know, Terence Crawford's a great fighter, really good fighter, but that's too much weight for him. So he's going to try to survive and move around and try to win the round. That's what's going to happen. I think Canelo at this stage right now, his legs are not the same. You know, the body's not responding the same. So I think he's going to have problems trying to catch Terence Crawford, to be honest with you. And I think it's going to be the same fight. You know, I think it's going to be a boring fight. It's going to. I'm hoping that, you know, it's a little bit exciting, because I heard that Canelo was the worst fight ever on pay-per-view to throw the less punches in history. So we're hoping to see a great fight, a good fight, but that matchup is not a matchup to be exciting.
Manny Pacquiao, a legendary fighter himself, offered a more balanced perspective while acknowledging Crawford's speed and evasiveness. Pacquiao also noted the challenge of facing a physically dominant force like Canelo. Although he didn't make a firm prediction, Pacquiao leaned slightly toward Canelo, though he admitted that Crawford's talents could make the fight highly competitive.
Manny, what do you think about Canelo versus Crawford? Crawford's moving up like 20 pounds. What do you think?
Good. Good for Canelo.
Good for Canelo? Manny, any advice on Crawford moving up in weight? You did it so many times. Any advice for Crawford moving up in weight? You did it so many times and you were successful. What do you tell Crawford? Any advice?
My advice to him is just focus on speed and
speed and style.
As September 13th approaches, the anticipation for this showdown continues to build. The mix of contrasting styles, the weight difference, and the mental preparations of both fighters make it one of the most intriguing matchups in recent years. Will Crawford's technical brilliance be enough to overcome Canelo's power and experience? Or will Canelo prove that size and strength still reign supreme in the world of boxing? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, this is a fight that no boxing fan will want to miss.